Hello students, let's continue the chapter 7 of history, the Great Uprising of 1857. The revolt of 1857 was caused by different political, economic, social, religious and military causes. But immediate cause was related to the incident of greased cartridges. When when British introduced a new rifle called Enfield. The whole episode started at Barakpur in West Bengal. Let's read about it on page number 67 of your book. Mangal Pandey, a sepoy at Barakpur, refused to bite the cartridges. He fired on two senior British officers, injuring them seriously. He was hanged to death. This incident infuriated the sepoys, who started a revolt in Meerut on 10 May 1857. A contingent of soldiers marched from Meerut to Delhi. They killed many British soldiers and officers. Local sepoys also joined them. Delhi became the center of revolt as they proclaimed the Mughal king Bahadur Shah Zafar as the Emperor of India. The uprising spread to central India and western Bihar and Rajputana in the east. So how all these things got started? Mangal Pandey uh, refused to bite that cartridges, and he fired on two British officers. As a result, he was hanged to death in April of 1857. After that, soldiers got infuriated. Infuriated means they got angry. They revolted against British rule, and it happened in Meerut on 10 May 1857. And from there, a group of soldiers marched to Delhi. That means from Meerut to Delhi, and they killed many British soldiers. The storm centers of revolt of 1857. These were, look, all these things started from Barakpur. Other centers of revolt of 1857 were at Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Bareilly, Jhansi, and Ara in Bihar. The real strength of the uprising was the participation by the sepoys, peasantries, the artisans, laborers, and zamindars. There were many prominent leaders of the uprising of 1857. At Delhi, the symbolic leadership belonged to the Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar, but the real command was in the hands of General Bakht Khan, who led the revolt of Bareilly troops and brought them to Delhi. At Kanpur, the revolt was led by Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Baji Rao II. In Jhansi, the Rani Lakshmi Bai led the rebels and means with courage, fought valiantly against the British. Other prominent leaders were Kunwar Singh of Jagdishpur, the Begum of Awadh, Hazrat Mahal. However, the uprising was short lived. Soon Delhi was recovered by the British. Bahadur Shah Zafar was imprisoned and exiled to Rangoon, now Yangon. Exiled means to force someone to leave his country. Then Rangoon. Rangoon is present day Yangon in Myanmar country. At that time, Myanmar was known as Burma. Three sons of Bahadur Shah Zafar were killed. The Mughal dynasty came to an end. The revolt had been crushed and the British Empire had survived. The revolt was fully suppressed by 1858. It had lasted for a year. Hundreds of rebels were hanged to death as punishment. Let's read about the causes of failure of revolt. Though it was widespread, it failed to involve a large section of population and different areas of country. It could not take the shape of an all India struggle. Although there were numerous places where anger resulted as a revolt against the British rule. It was a war for independence of India, but whole India was not involved in it. South India was totally unaffected. So uh, the revolt failed because all India struggle was not there. Next reason was the revolt did not involve the masses. The people who joined the revolt were those who had been adversely affected by the British rule and its policies. Important rulers like Sindhya, Holkar, Raja of Jodhpur did not join the revolt. They instead supported the British. Many soldiers remained loyal to the British Sikh, Rajput, Gurkha battalions. The merchants, western educated middle class, new zamindars of Bengal, and moneylenders supported the British rule. Look, different classes were there like sipais, peasantries, artisans, laborers. They took participate in this whole struggle, but still, large number of section of society were not involved in it, like merchants and the western educated middle class. Next reason was the British soldiers were better equipped than Indian soldiers who fought with outdated weapons. The British had experienced and competent generals who could lead them, whereas the Indian leaders, with the exception of a few, did not possess the leadership qualities and military expertise and experience required to lead an army. So British at that time were better than Indians in terms of military equipments, military training, and other things related to the war. Next point is the revolutionaries did not have enough resources for their struggle. The British were financially and militarily stronger. Obviously, British were ruling here, they were in power, so all the resources were under their control. Next thing is the revolt was not planned and organized. Look, revolt was happening over a period of time at that time, from 1857 to 1858. First incident took place in April, then a revolt erupted in Meerut in month of May, and in the following months there were numerous revolts at the various centers of revolt. Hence, the whole revolt was not planned and organized. The British, in addition to the advantages mentioned, had the advantage of post and telegraph. This helped them to communicate with each other, exchange messages, plan strategies, and act immediately. Post and telegraphs were under the government, and government was of British at that time. So they took advantage of post and telegraph and communicated better than Indians. Let's read about the results of the revolt on page number 69. Though the revolt was not successful, it was a turning point in the history of India. It shook the British government's confidence in itself. It also brought to the forefront Hindu Muslim unity. So, what was the main results? What were the consequences of this revolt? Britishers came to know about the Indian, they came to know that Indians can retaliate, and they came to know about Hindu Muslim unity. So, first result is it ushered in the end of East India Company's rule. East India Company was ruling the territory under their control, and 1857 revolt ended this rule. India now came under the direct rule of British Parliament and the Queen of England. Queen's proclamation was issued which stated that which stated that the welfare of Indian people would be looked after. Proclamation, Queen's proclamation means Queen officially declared that now after that means after that mutiny, after 1857 revolt, company will not rule the India. Instead, India will be after that India will under the direct British rule. This was the announcement by Queen of the England. The Queen's Proclamation of 1858 stated that a Secretary of State for India would be appointed. He would be responsible to the British Parliament. He would be advised and aided by a body called the Indian Council. That means, what was another announcement, proclamation of 1858? That there would be a body called Indian Council, and there will be a post of Secretary of State for India. After next result of this revolt was the Governor General would hence be called Viceroy. The name of the post changed from Governor General to Viceroy. He would report to the Secretary of State for India in England. British started following the policy of divide and rule to minimize the threat of any future rebellion. So, as I already told that after this revolt, British came to know about the how different culturally and religiously different classes come together to retaliate against their against British or against the foreign rule. So what they did after that, they adopted the policy of divide and rule, and this policy was used to divide the Bengal and then to divide the whole India in 1947. Okay, let's read further. Doctrine of lapse was abolished. The number of British soldiers in the army was increased. Artillery was henceforth placed under British soldiers. That means large guns were under the control of British soldiers. The British government promised not to interfere in the social and religious lives of Indians. No new kingdom would be annexed, although maximum of the territory under the British at that time. Nature of the revolt. Historians have held divergent views about the nature of the outbreak of 1857. British historians have painted it as a mutiny confined to the army which did not command the support of people at large. A similar view was held by many contemporary Indians like Munshi Jivan Lal, Moinuddin, both eyewitnessed at Delhi, and Durga Das Bandyopadhyay, among many others. Others described it as a religious war against the Christians or a racial struggle for supremacy between the black and white. Still, others described it a struggle between Oriental and Occidental. Oriental means something that is related to the eastern part of the world, and Occidental means something that is related to the western part of the world. So, described it as a struggle between Oriental and Occidental civilization and culture. A few described it the result of Hindu Muslim conspiracy to overthrow the British rule. Some Indian nationalists have called it well planned national struggle and as the first war of Indian independence. So, as the nature is described by the different people according to their point of view, we can easily see that revolt was a result of continuous discontent with the foreign rule. Some called it as a war between black and white or war between two totally opposite cultures and civilization. But one thing is common, that it was a revolt by native people against the rule of foreign people. Centers of revolt: Meerut. Sepoys started the revolt on 10th May 1857 here in the Meerut. Delhi. Bahadur Shah Zafar proclaimed Emperor of Hindustan on 11 May 1857. Kanpur. Revolt led by Nana Sahib. He was helped by Tantya Tope, his commander, who carried on the revolt after his escape. In Lucknow, Hazrat Mahal, Queen of Nawab of Awadh, led the revolt. Soldiers of Lucknow were joined by the soldiers of the disbanded Awadh army. Jhansi, led by Rani Lakshmi Bai, popularly known as the Rani of Jhansi, with Tantya Tope's help captured Gwalior, but died soon afterwards fighting in the battlefield. So that's all about the revolt of 1857. Read thoroughly from your book and try to solve the back exercise. Thank you.